This is Dennis Raimondi back here at the Coffee League, at thecoffeeleague.com. And I'm actually speaking to Dritan Alsela today, and he is with Marietta Zanto. There may be some translation that takes place. Dritan and Marietta are in Dusseldorf, Germany at the Dritan Alsela Coffee. I want to mention that I met Dritan briefly at the New York Coffee Festival recently, and then I've become addicted to watching his YouTube videos on latte art. It's absolutely fascinating, mesmerizing when you watch him do his work. He has a very well-known and highly regarded cafe in Dusseldorf, Germany, and it's on my list of places to visit when I go to Europe next. Dritan, Marietta, thank you so very much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Dritan, direct question to you. When did coffee come into your life? When did you decide to go into the coffee business, either as a barista or in whatever level you entered coffee?
Okay, I started to work in the coffee business 19 years ago. It was exactly June 98 in a coffee shop. It was my first experience as a barista.
And that was in Dusseldorf, you said?
In Germany, but not in Düsseldorf. It's near Leipzig.
And what was
East
your
Germany.
experience when you were working as a barista in 1998? And I'm going to guess, at least in the United States, that was before third wave coffee, or what they call specialty coffee, came along. What was the coffee scene like, and what was it like your first job as a barista?
If I started to work as barista in '98, it was the coffee scene don't exist in Germany. We just have little bit Italian coffee culture. Just started the restaurants started to offer Italian coffee culture, because Germany has always his coffee culture. It is filter cafe, and Italian coffee culture was something new. And then with Starbucks, I think, woke up the interest for the coffee in Germany.
Okay, and then so in your first job as a barista in Dusseldorf, it was, like you said, Italian cafe style, darker roast, not what we're seeing now so much. When did it start to change, and did you stay as a barista there? When did you start seeing the coffee culture and quality of coffee changing?
Okay, I can speak about my experience in Germany. It was German people drank always filter cafe. It's a little bit light, not too strong.
Mm-hmm.
That's I can I can remind me 2002, for example. I started to work in a coffee shop here in Düsseldorf, Germany, and we offer only Arabica beans.
Mm-hmm.
The difference that it was the right beans for the German market, because Arabica beans, 100% Arabica coffee, is not too strong like Italian style. That it was the difference between Italian style and the new trend. It started with the first step, I would say, in Germany was offer Arabica beans.
Aber wann, hold on one second. Fragt, wann das hier anfing mit der neuen Welle.
Yeah, it started 2002. Yes.
2002, so very, very early on. And I know that in Scandinavia, it started around then as well. And then did you keep the same job in the same cafe? And did the cafe begin to serve lighter roast and change, or did you move to another job, another position?
Yeah. I would say at the beginning it was just to change the beans, the quality of beans. Before, the people don't care about the quality of the beans. The most important it was dark Italian roasting with Robusta, and now then the first step was change the quality of the beans, and then later I started to change the roast.
Right, the roast. And are you also a roaster as well as a barista?
I started to roast cafe for 2013.
So it's something new. But when I watch your videos, you are absolutely what I consider the ideal barista. You use great energy in what you're doing. I can tell from watching a lot of baristas in a lot of countries that you love what you're doing. And then, of course, on top of that, you are in my opinion, the latte artist. And when did you start? And for those listening or reading the transcript of this, explain a little to our people, listeners and readers, what barista art is, latte art is, and how you got into it.
Okay. I can say first, I always loved my job. I did it with passion from first day on. Before I was barista, I made other jobs in hospitality. I did with passion too. As I would say, I had a passion for the hospitality. And my mission, it was always to make my customer happy, to offer them the best quality, to be friendly, to make a good atmosphere in my shop, and to make professional beverages. And on top, it was we started first with some hearts and some rosettas, some new pictures on the top.
Und wollte wissen, was ist Latte Art für die, die es nicht kennen?
Okay. I would say latte art is I always say it's the sport part of my job. It's like for the chefs, for example, the decoration of the on the plates is for us the decoration on the top. We say in Germany, Auge ist mit. Can we say in English?
No, there's no translation for
that. You can eat with you can eat with your eyes too in Germany.
You can eat with your eyes. I love that. And the way
with your eyes, that's what we say.
The way I look at it, Dritan and Marietta, is it is I can tell, and I've read about your work, that you do everything to bring the person a perfect cup of coffee. And when you do the latte art, it is sort of like your signature, that it's from you, that your specialty in regard to it. At your cafe, do you what type of roast do you use? What type of beans do you tend to use? The lighter beans, and also do you, in addition to the espressos, the cappuccinos, the lattes, do you do a pour over as well?
Yes. Okay. In my shop, I'm using different beans. I would say my shop is something what I do with passion. It's my life. That's I think a little bit different. I am not making every trend with my shop. I'm making my dream. It was always to have a direct trade to the farmers, to the people, to the pickers.
Right.
That I'm doing right now. That's it's not possible with every country, but I just tried now with Guatemala and some farmers contact there. That is the line where I am focused. I am using Guatemala beans. I am using from Central America beans, Panama, and Africa, every continent. And the kind of roasting, it is a little light to medium roasting. It depends from beverages and from wishes of customers.
Mm-hmm. And then the other question I was going to ask, I wanted to ask is, I noticed that you travel a lot. I know you were in New York recently for the New York Coffee Festival, but you travel to different places to give presentations. And one of the things I noticed, I spent a lot of time in Sweden. My wife is from there, and I'm in the States most of the time. But what we call coffee culture. Sometimes in Europe, in Sweden, they have what's called fika. People go to a cafe, they sit, they talk, they spend an hour or two. In the United States, often people go to a cafe and they get their computer and they just sort of work on their own and enjoy their coffee there. What is the German coffee culture like, specifically in Düsseldorf?
Yeah. Okay, I would say the difference between US and Europe, it is because Europe had a coffee culture 200 years ago,
Right.
it was like we call this coffee culture. Yeah. We have in Wien, we had in Vienna, in Austria, we still coffee houses. In Germany, the coffee houses waren zwischendurch verschwunden.
Coffee houses disappeared for a period.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and but no change. The people they love to go back to the coffee houses. It's very important coffee house to offer good coffee, good quality. But the most important is the atmosphere, the service, and everything that is make a coffee house.
Right. When I go into a cafe myself, and I go into dozens doing my research, and understanding coffee is new to me. I'm no expert. It's really in the last 6 months that I've been studying it, and I'm not a barista. But when I go into a cafe, the first thing I look at is the equipment, and then the barista. Is the barista happy? Is the barista enjoying what they're doing? And that to me is key, because if they enjoy what they're doing, usually they're very good. And it's also, like you said, the atmosphere. And in watching your videos, I can see that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you very, very much enjoy what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Comes
I
across.
appreciate this. As owner, I can say for me it's very important that barista to be happy. But I think everyone they work in coffee shop has to be happy. The waitress, the chef, everyone. That is the atmosphere that we offer in our coffee shop. But included barista.
Right now, do you train people, for instance, in barista? I mean, latte art. If somebody's listening or reading this, and they want to be, and they're a barista maybe, and they want to get better at this art, what would you recommend to them?
Latte art is it's not possible to learn 1 day or 3 days or 1 week. What I can suggest to all people is just to practice. But the most important things, and what I am teaching to my students and my friends and my employees, is to learn to make professional beverages with coffee. That's the most important. Latte art is I just can introduce them in latte art world, but it's not possible to teach them in few days.
Right.
Everyone needs a lot of practice.
Yeah, like any art, it takes time. It's just, and I would recommend people, please, anyone, go to YouTube, put in Dritan Alsela, and I'll have it on the blog here, and watch him do his thing. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
And follow him on Instagram. Every night, my wife brings it over to me and says, "Look at this, look at this." She,
Thank you so much.
It makes you want to have that experience yourself. But I noticed that more and more cafes I go to, there are people that barista that enjoy doing it. And what it just shows me is that the barista is having fun at what they're doing. And generally, if they're good at latte art, they're going to pull a good espresso, they're going to make a good cappuccino, because they really are into what they're doing. Let me ask you, Dritan, you were just in New York City at the Coffee Festival in October, where I saw you. What did you think of the whole coffee scene in New York City?
Yeah, New York City is. I want to say first, I really love New York City. I am now for 4 years every year there, and I'm enjoying the time in New York City. And maybe it's the one city in the world, everything changed very fast, and the coffee culture is changing very fast. I can see that from year to year is growing very, very fast. In Germany, it's changed a little bit slowly, but in New York City, changed a lot. And
Right.
I am there every year to meet my barista friends and to support them to be
Do you have any favorite cafes in New York that you go to?
New York City is a lot of coffees.
Yeah.
Bluestone lines, for example, is the Australian side, yeah.
Bluestone Lane,
Yeah, Bluestone line and
Devotion.
Devotion, Toby's Estate is very, very
Toby's
good.
Estate,
And,
yeah. I've been,
yeah,
what I
Blue
noticed,
Bottle
Blue Bottle,
from John. Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
we 5 or 6 years ago when I went to New York, maybe 6 years ago, there were only a handful of specialty coffee shops, Ninth Street. There was a few places. Now there are, between New York and Brooklyn, it's unbelievable what's happened.
Right.
That's
And
true.
I'm traveling a lot and looking at cafes, but even in small towns and all the cities, these specialty coffee shops are popping up more and more. And I'm always impressed with the quality, and they seem to do well. And I think, and I want you to speak on this a little, it seems like the consumer is becoming more sophisticated in his or her
That's
taste. Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Is that the case in Germany?
Was ist das?
Er merkt, dass die Verbraucher, die Kunden werden immer mehr gebildeter in Sachen Kaffee.
Ja.
Kennen sich immer besser aus, ob das hier auch so ist.
Okay, I think in Germany it's a little bit slowly change, little bit. No, only big cities. We don't have so much big cities in Germany, but little slowly than in US. I would say in US because more sophisticated because I think the coffee culture is new. It's more new than in Germany. The German have one coffee culture and they are very traditional. I would say.
And then
Just my opinion.
what are your plans? What would you like to see happen for you in your business in the next 5 to 10 years? Where do you see this going?
I could, yes, in the culture or in my business.
You mean in terms of his business, or
Yeah,
you
well, in
mean
terms of
culture-wise?
What he's doing, what Dritan is doing in coffee himself. Will he love to just continue what he's doing, or train more people, or open other cafes?
No, I have my coffee shop, I have my coffee school and nursery, and now I just started to make a direct trade. I think the next and the last step in my career, I will be to have my own farm in some poor countries to support people there, and yeah, that is, and to make this job that I'm doing for 19 years as passion, to make famous, to make important, because if I started to work as barista, the people haben es belächelt.
Yeah, people were not recognizing the job as a real profession,
Right.
and he wants to change that.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do. That's barista is his normal job, like every job, and it's very important.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned that because one of my goals in doing a blog / podcast on coffee, my goal has always been in my radio and all to educate people. And so I want to educate people about coffee and what goes on. And I see a barista, a good barista, a good roaster is like a fine chef. It's like a 5-star chef, and makes an enormous difference in what is being presented to the people. So one of my goals in doing what I'm doing is to elevate the barista to that level, because that's what it should be. Just like there are all kinds of cooks, but then there are the real chefs. It's the same thing with barista and roasters. And
that's the same goal. Thank you. Yeah, it's great to hear it.
Right.
Really cool, because that's what I'm doing for many years. I'm this social media while I'm doing. I don't have nothing from. I have my shop. I have my company. I'm doing all this to support the young people, to inspire the young people to make this job cool job.
And one last
great. Make this job great again.
Make it great, yeah. And to coin a phrase, right? And the
Make barista great again.
make baristas great again. The other thing finally is that one final area I want to touch on, and that is that with this what we call third wave coffee, it's not just about what's happening at the cafe, and you touched upon this before. It's about how the coffee's grown, how the people are being compensated or paid that are growing the coffee, and sustainability. Every aspect of it's the bean coming from the ground, the growing and coming from the farm and going into the cup and everything that goes along the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this
Yeah.
is great.
Yes.
All right, well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you so very much for your time, Dritan. And again,
you.
Dritan Alsela Coffee Cafe in Dusseldorf, Germany. Check it out. And again, I really want to say to people, I don't care if you're not interested in coffee, check out Dritan on YouTube. I was watching it all morning, and it's fascinating what he can do with pouring milk into a coffee cup, and also the quality. You could just sense the quality of the coffee. So, thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you too. It was my pleasure to. It was my first interview in English in my life, and yeah,
Your
I'm a
English
little bit excited, but I'm happy.
You did good, I think. Don't you?
I hope.
Thank you so much, Dritan
Thank
Alsela
you.
and Marietta Zanto. Thank you.